If you're frustrated by your inability to lose weight, despite your best efforts, it's time to uncover the hidden thyroid imbalances that could be sabotaging your metabolism. Keep watching to discover 4 surprising factors that may be holding you back, and learn how to take control with functional medicine strategies to maximize your fat-burning potential. It's well known that poor thyroid function, or hypothyroidism, can trigger weight gain, along with other symptoms of a sluggish metabolism, like fatigue, bloating, fluid retention, dry skin, and hair thinning. That's because having low levels of active thyroid hormone messes up your body's energy regulation, causing you to burn less fuel and store more fat. But what if you have all of these symptoms, including trouble losing fat, but your doctor says your thyroid is normal? Or what if you're treating your hypothyroidism with medications, but you're still not able to drop body fat? You're in luck, because in this video, I'm going to reveal 4 reasons that you're still gaining weight because of hidden hypothyroid problems, and how to solve them using functional medicine. One really quick note before we dive in. I go much more in-depth into all things thyroid in my thyroid deep dive tutorial. So while we don't have time in this video for a comprehensive review of how the thyroid works, a full explanation can be a game changer, especially if you felt dismissed by your healthcare providers. To access the deep dive, join my VIP YouTube membership. Simply sign into your YouTube account and click the Join button to sign up. All right, the first reason that your weight gain may be caused by a hidden thyroid problem is that you're relying on the wrong normal ranges for your thyroid labs. Sometimes normal tests are fantastic news, but other times they're a dead end. Because if your thyroid lab testing comes back within normal limits, it can put the brakes on further help or testing from conventional providers. And it can even lead to minimization or dismissal of your symptoms. It happens a lot. In functional medicine, we don't settle for normal when it comes to the thyroid, because average is not the same as optimal. Many of the original normal lab values were determined by population studies done on healthy white males. So if you happen to be a female or non-white, you can imagine that these normal levels might not be your optimal levels, especially if you're trying to lose body fat. Also, it's important to recognize that insufficiency is possible without deficiency. In other words, you might have enough thyroid hormone to survive, but not enough to support the full optimal functioning of your body. My optimal ranges for thyroid markers are TSH 0.3 to 2.5 milli-international units per liter, free T3 2.8 to 4.4 picograms per milliliter, free T4 0.9 to 1.7 nanograms per deciliter, and TPO, or thyroid antibody, less than 9 international units per milliliter. If you fall outside that optimal range, your poor thyroid function may be impacting your ability to achieve and maintain a healthy body weight. This brings us to our second reason. If you're only measuring your TSH, or thyroid stimulating hormone, to determine your thyroid function, you're missing out. And this is a bummer because most doctors rely on TSH to screen for hypothyroid, even though studies suggest that subclinical hypothyroidism can go undetected for years before elevations of TSH will show up on labs. I see it all the time. So, if you're struggling with weight loss resistance and you suspect your thyroid has something to do with it, it's time to insist on a complete thyroid blood test, including, at minimum, TSH, free T4, free T3, and thyroid antibodies. If your doctor can't or won't order these tests for you, consider ordering them yourself through my website. It's a simple at-home testing kit, and I'll even help you interpret the results and come up with some strategies to address any imbalances that you find. We help folks all over the world access thyroid testing, so be sure to check out the video description for the link to order your comprehensive test. Once you have the full picture of your thyroid levels, you can assess the third reason that your weight gain may be caused by a hidden thyroid problem, which is poor thyroid hormone conversion. When your pituitary starts cranking out TSH, It tells your thyroid gland to start making thyroxine, or T4, as well as a little triiodothyronine, or T3. T4, which represents 90% of your thyroid gland output, is inactive. That means it can't interact with the cells of your body to regulate your metabolism until it's converted into the active form of thyroid hormone, T3. Only once T4 is turned into T3 can it bind to regulation sites called receptors on your cells and make that metabolic magic happen. So even if your thyroid is making plenty of T4 hormone to run your metabolism and burn fat, if it's not converted to free T3, you could still be functionally hypothyroid. What causes problems with thyroid conversion? Unfortunately, a whole lot of factors, including stress and high cortisol, fasting, certain medications, diabetes, low progesterone, which is common in perimenopause and menopause, pesticides, heavy metals, iodine excess, and even alcohol. Micronutrient insufficiencies like low iron and ferritin, low B vitamins, zinc, and selenium can also cause poor conversion. We'll talk about my favorite evidence-based strategies for improving the conversion of T4 to free T3 in just a minute. But first, we need to talk about the fourth hidden thyroid problem that makes it tough to lose body fat: autoimmune hypothyroid, also known as Hashimoto's. Thyroid peroxidase antibodies and anti-thyroglobulin antibodies are often the first thing to show up when the thyroid is struggling, even though they're often the last thing to be tested. Research shows that these thyroid antibodies can be elevated for 10 to 15 years before your TSH rises outside of that conventional normal. And this isn't a rare problem. Hashimoto's is the most common cause of thyroid issues. What do these thyroid antibodies do to disrupt your metabolism and trigger low thyroid symptoms? Well, they can block the effective binding of free T3 to the thyroid receptors on your cells, making it harder for your body to respond to thyroid signals. They can damage your thyroid over time by creating inflammation in the glandular tissue, eventually lowering your capacity to make T4. But even if your other thyroid levels are in the optimal range, significantly elevated thyroid antibodies are associated in the medical literature with anxiety, depression, OCD, infertility, brain fog, high cholesterol, and blood sugar problems that lead to weight loss resistance. And these studies show that even if you're actively treating your hypothyroid with medication, the presence of thyroid antibodies can still cause these symptoms. So, given that there are multiple hidden reasons that your thyroid is contributing to your weight gain or weight loss resistance, what can you do about it? The first thing to do is get a complete thyroid panel, including TSH, free T4, free T3, and TPO antibodies. And once you get your thyroid lab results, you're going to compare your levels to my optimal ranges instead of settling for the lab's normal range. Reverse T3 and TPA antibodies can also be helpful, but most of the time I'm satisfied with the first four. It's important that you're specific when you request thyroid testing, because otherwise your healthcare provider is probably going to order a TSH or maybe a T4. But you need to see that free T3 number in order to figure out if you're struggling with thyroid conversion. You're welcome to order a test kit through my website, and if you do, I'll help you interpret the results and come up with a plan. Again, the link to learn more is in the video description for you. The next thing to do is to support thyroid conversion. Some folks find that they feel best in the upper half of the optimal range for free T3. Here are a few strategies to improve your free T3 levels. Replenish micronutrient levels like vitamin E, selenium, magnesium, and zinc. My favorite supplement for thyroid conversion optimizes all of these levels in one capsule because it was designed specifically with conversion issues in mind. It also contains myo-inositol, which lowers thyroid antibodies, and it contains rhodiola, an adaptogenic herb that promotes adrenal regulation, lowers cortisol, and protects the brain, specifically reducing symptoms like fatigue, anxiety, and depression. I'll put a link to this supplement in the video description, along with my other favorite supports for functional fat loss. And when you order through my full-script dispensary, you'll get a super nice discount. Low iron and ferritin levels can also cause poor thyroid conversion and function. I've got lots of videos about low ferritin in my library because it's so common and yet underdiagnosed and undertreated. So be sure to check those out once we're done. When it comes to lowering those pesky thyroid antibodies, the key is focusing on the gut. Often, removing certain foods from your diet can help. Many people with Hashimoto's also react to gluten and gluten-containing foods. A 2002 study found that 43% of people with Hashimoto's showed activated mucosal T-cell immunity, which is usually correlated with gluten sensitivity. And the antibodies produced in celiac disease can cross-react with thyroid antibodies in a phenomenon known as molecular mimicry, amplifying inflammation and damage of the thyroid via autoimmunity. Even if you don't have celiac disease or gluten sensitivity, gluten can cause intestinal hyperpermeability, also known as leaky gut, which contributes to elevated thyroid antibodies. I always recommend that folks with significantly elevated thyroid antibodies follow a gluten-free diet. Another really helpful step is to assess and address other hormones that impact your thyroid function. For example, testing and lowering cortisol levels can help prevent the conversion of T4 to reverse T3, which is an inactive form of T3 that can't effectively bind to thyroid receptors. And assessing reproductive hormones can identify sources of poor thyroid conversion, like low progesterone, or sources of chronic inflammation, like estrogen dominance. The Dutch Complete Hormone Test is my favorite way to investigate hormones like these, because blood testing, like thyroid blood testing, has giant normal ranges that aren't particularly helpful or sensitive. Check the video description for more info about comprehensive hormone testing. If you're feeling frustrated, demoralized, or just plain stuck, it's time for a deeper look into the health of your thyroid. I hope you found the insights and strategies in this video helpful. You'll find even more in the Thyroid Deep Dive tutorial. You can view this training in my YouTube membership. Simply hit the join button once you've signed into your YouTube account and sign up for access to all the videos in my exclusive member library. If you're interested in ordering comprehensive thyroid or hormone testing, you'll find links in the video description, along with links to my favorite supplements for thyroid support and healthy fat loss. And when you order through my full-script dispensary, you'll get a really nice discount. Thanks so much for watching this video and for your support. Every subscriber and thumbs up helps me spread the word about functional medicine resources to those who need them, and I truly appreciate it. Stay tuned for more fat loss strategies in the next video. Thanks again, and I'll see you over there.